Ever wondered why such a small proportion of Americans call New Mexico home compared to its neighboring state, Texas? It's an intriguing question, isn't it? Because on the surface, New Mexico and Texas share many similarities. They're both located in the southwestern region of the United States. They both have rich histories, and they both offer unique cultural experiences. Yet when it comes to population, there's a stark contrast. To give you an idea, let's look at some numbers. Texas, the second largest state in the U.S., is home to approximately 29 million people. That's roughly 9% of the entire U.S. population. Now let's compare that to New Mexico. Despite being the fifth largest state in terms of land area, New Mexico has a population of just over 2 million. That's less than 1% of the U.S. population. Quite a difference, wouldn't you say? But why is this? What factors have contributed to such a significant population disparity between these two neighboring states? Well, that's the question we're going to explore. Is it due to historical events that shape the demographics of these states? Maybe it's the geographical factors that influence where people choose to live. Or perhaps it's the economic opportunities or lack thereof that draw people to one state and not the other. But before we jump to conclusions, it's important to remember that population distribution isn't just about numbers. It's about the people who make up those numbers. It's about the communities they form, the cultures they cultivate, and the lives they lead. And while it's easy to get lost in the statistics, we must never lose sight of the human element that lies at the heart of it all. So buckle up as we embark on a journey of discovery. A journey that will take us through history, across vast landscapes, and into the heart of the American economy. A journey to understand why so few Americans live in New Mexico compared to Texas. Intrigued, aren't we? But to understand this disparity, we must dig into the history, geography, and economy of these two states. To understand the present, we must journey into the past. Let's start our journey in the mid-16th century when both New Mexico and Texas were under Spanish rule. New Mexico was settled first, with Santa Fe being established as the capital in 1610, making it the oldest state capital in the United States. Texas, on the other hand, was settled about a century later. However, the early settlement didn't lead to a population boom for New Mexico. The harsh desert climate and the isolation from other Spanish colonies made it less attractive for settlers. Texas, with its fertile lands and access to the Gulf of Mexico, drew in more settlers. Fast forward to the early 19th century, Texas, as a part of Mexico, saw a significant influx of American settlers, particularly after Mexico liberalized its immigration policies. The Texas Revolution of 1836 led to the creation of the Republic of Texas, which later joined the United States in 1845. In contrast, New Mexico remained a remote and isolated territory until it was ceded to the United States after the Mexican-American War in 1848. It didn't achieve statehood until 1912, making it one of the last continental states to join the Union. In the 20th century, both states saw significant population growth, but the trajectories were different. Texas became a major hub for oil, technology, and other industries, drawing in millions. New Mexico, while experiencing growth, lagged behind due to a less diversified economy heavily centered on federal government jobs and tourism. The history of these two states provides some context to their current population disparities. The early establishment of economic hubs in Texas and its geographical advantages spurred its growth. New Mexico's harsher climate, remote location, and later statehood may have slowed its population increase. History shapes the present, but it's not the only factor. Let's delve into the geographical aspects next. Geography, a silent player, yet a significant one. Thus begins our exploration of the geographical factors that have shaped New Mexico and Texas, and indeed the lives of their inhabitants. Let's start with New Mexico. Its terrain is a tapestry of mountains, desert, and plateaus, each contributing its unique hue to the state's overall character. The majestic Rockies tower in the north, while the arid Chihuahuan Desert stretches across the south. This rugged yet beautiful landscape, while picturesque, is not always conducive to large-scale human settlement. The lack of water sources and arable land in many parts of the state has made it a challenging place to call home. Now, let's mosey on over to Texas. The Lone Star State is a geographical wonderland with coastal beaches, swamplands, rolling plains, and even mountains. Its diverse topography is not just a sightseer's delight, but also offers a variety of living conditions. From the fertile soil of the coastal plains to the abundant resources of the Gulf Coast, Texas presents a more inviting landscape for settlement. Geography doesn't just dictate where we can live, it also influences the way we live. In New Mexico, the scarcity of water has led to the development of intricate irrigation systems and a culture that values every drop. In contrast, Texas, with its more generous water supply, has been able to support larger communities and a wider range of industries. Furthermore, the climate plays a pivotal role. New Mexico's high elevation results in cooler temperatures and less humidity, while Texas, being closer to sea level, has a warmer, more humid climate. These climatic conditions impact not just the comfort of living, but also the type of agriculture and industries that can thrive in these states. In conclusion, the geographical features of New Mexico and Texas have significantly influenced their population distribution. The challenging terrain and climate of New Mexico have limited its population growth, while the diverse and resource-rich landscape of Texas has facilitated its expansion. Geography certainly plays its part, but what about the economic opportunities each state presents? Money matters. It's a driving force for migration and settlement. And when it comes to the tug-of-war between Texas and New Mexico, the Lone Star State seems to have a stronger pull. Let's dive into the economic opportunities in both states. Texas, with its robust economy, boasts the second-largest gross state product in the United States, only behind California. It's a powerhouse for a multitude of industries, including oil, natural gas, technology, and healthcare. This economic diversity translates to a wealth of job opportunities, making Texas a magnet for those seeking employment. On the other hand, New Mexico's economy is smaller and less diverse. The land of enchantment primarily leans on the federal government, oil and gas, and tourism for its economic sustenance. While these sectors do provide jobs, the opportunities are relatively fewer compared to Texas. You see, the economic disparity between the two states isn't just about the number of jobs, it extends to wages too. A recent study revealed that the average salary in Texas is significantly higher than in New Mexico. This wage gap can influence where people choose to live, as a higher income often means a better quality of life. Moreover, Texas is home to numerous Fortune 500 companies. With corporate giants like ExxonMobil, AT&T, and Dell Technologies headquartered there, the state offers a myriad of high-paying job opportunities. This corporate presence not only boosts the local economy, but also makes Texas an attractive destination for ambitious professionals. In contrast, New Mexico has fewer large corporations, which means fewer high-paying jobs. While the state has made strides in growing its tech and renewable energy sectors, it still lags behind Texas in terms of economic diversity and opportunities. To sum it up, Texas's bustling economy, higher wages, and diverse job market give it a significant edge over New Mexico. It's no wonder that more Americans are drawn to the Lone Star State. Economic prosperity attracts people, but what about the quality of life each state offers? Quality of life, a significant factor in deciding where to call home. When it comes to New Mexico and Texas, the comparison is quite interesting. Education, often a pillar of quality of life, presents a mixed bag. While Texas boasts more top-ranked universities, New Mexico has a higher high school graduation rate. In terms of healthcare, both states have their strengths and weaknesses. Texas has more hospitals and specialty clinics, but New Mexico has a higher ratio of doctors to residents. And what about crime rates? Well, both states have areas of concern, but overall, Texas has a slightly lower crime rate than New Mexico. So how does one choose? It's a balancing act, really. It depends on what aspects of life are most important to you. Quality of life, economic opportunities, geography, and history all play a part in shaping the population of a place. So, why do fewer Americans live in New Mexico compared to Texas? As we've journeyed through the past, explored the rugged terrains, and delved into economic intricacies, we've uncovered a tapestry of factors contributing to the population disparity between these neighboring states. The roots trace back to historical developments, where Texas was a magnet for settlers, its fertile lands and strategic ports promising prosperity. Geographically, Texas's diverse landscapes offer more habitable zones compared to New Mexico's arid expanses, The economic opportunities, too, are more abundant in Texas, with its thriving oil industry and bustling cities. And finally, the perception of quality of life, influenced by education, healthcare, and recreational facilities, also plays a significant role in this demographic puzzle. Yet, it's important to remember that population density isn't a measure of a place's worth. New Mexico, with its rich culture and breathtaking vistas, holds its own unique charm. It's the interplay of history, geography, economy, and quality of life that shapes the population landscape of these two fascinating states.